Every ruler entered history under a nickname: Richard Lionheart, Miguel I, the Absolute King, Philip III, the Bold, and many other historical figures. Obligate orally, the nickname reflects the lifetime merits and major achievements of the ruler. But in history, there are very dark, comical, and even offensive examples, as the king was remembered by his subjects exclusively from the bad side. And today, we will talk about a man of amazing beauty, the ruler of Castile and Leon, Henry IV, who remained in the memory of people under the offensive nickname Impotent. It is no secret that to be a king and queen is not only to have unlimited power, but also to follow a huge number of duties. And the main duty of august persons is to enter into dynastic marriages and grant the state the necessary offspring so that the ruling lineage is not interrupted. In the Middle Ages, there were rather few reasons to officially dissolve a marriage. Roughly speaking, there were 3 reasons: death, worldly death, and going into a monastery, as well as the impossibility of continuing the family. All other reasons were considered at least far-fetched, and at most, an infringement on the divine will, because according to the ideas of the time, marriages were concluded exclusively in heaven. In any case, any divorce process was accompanied by a lot of public scrutiny and a kind of humiliation, because it was still necessary to prove the validity of the accusations of the spouse. Henry IV is one of the few kings who went through this humiliation. In his first marriage to Blanche of Navarre in 1440, the poor man was unable to have children for 13 long years. In the end, his wife was so tired of the constant shame that she was forced to file for divorce. Henry IV resisted Blanche's decision and even invited an army of women of easy behavior to prove that the accusations are groundless. But apparently, it turned out badly, because the commission of experts still decided to dissolve the marriage. The second attempt to achieve, if not marital happiness, then the appearance of offspring took place much later, with Jeanne of Portugal. And in this dynastic marriage, which was originally concluded with the purpose of rapprochement of the 2 states, in 1462, a daughter named Joanna was born. It would seem that the appearance of a daughter should have put an end to the hurtful rumors, but it only got worse, as throughout the state immediately spread very reasonable rumors that the father of the child is a completely different person, Beltrán de la Cueva. As a result, the wife also received a difficult-to-translate nickname, La Beltraneja, in which allegorically was coded a direct allusion to the illegitimate origin of Joanna. Henry himself became known by his subjects as the Impotent. Henry IV lived a long and complicated life. The period of his reign from 1454 to 1474 was a series of incessant intrigues, wars, and palace games. Maybe that's why the king's heart failed, and he passed away on December 11th, 1474, at the age of only 49. Historians assess the reign of Henry IV as very controversial. The nobles received a significant strengthening on the background of a weak king. The people suffered from complete disenfranchisement, as there was no control over the local rulers. And all of the above, in one way or another, was derived from the problem of the ruler, which made him not a man in the eyes of the vast majority of the nobility. What was true and what was false? It is rather difficult to say. For example, the future king entered into marriage with Blanche of Navarre at the age of only 15 years, so he could elementary not know some of the nuances of treatment of women. But Henry IV had 13 years to figure it all out. And at the end of this period, the king still did not understand anything? It's unlikely. A very strict committee, in proposing the dissolution of marriage, took into account the fact that after 13 years of marriage, Blanche was still an innocent woman. Quite frankly, the accusations were well-founded, which led to the well-known problems in her second marriage. In her second marriage, Jeanne of Portugal was able to produce an only daughter, But rumors that Joanna was not the legitimate heir to the Spanish throne had such a strong basis that some of the nobles of Castile rebelled against their ruler in order to overthrow the king from the throne. And the rebels did not conceal that they were rebelling against the illegal seizure of power by an impostor, which was bound to take place after the death of Henry IV. Such serious resistance from a part of society led to the fact that Henry IV was forced to accept that his second wife was unfaithful to him. This cruel accusation was followed by new divorce proceedings, which literally intensified the struggle for the throne. As a result, the king was forced to write his sister Isabella in his will. And when Henry IV left this world, the grateful sister did everything to further denigrate her brother, as well as discredit his only daughter, Joanna. Therefore, she only strengthened the negative in the historical chronicles, thus strengthening her own position on the throne. As his contemporaries described the king, Henry IV was a very well-built, tall, and truly handsome man. As the boy practiced with the sword from an early age, his nose was damaged during one of his training sessions, which made his appearance even more masculine. For at first admiring subjects said that the injury made the ruler resemble a fearsome lion. Was Henry IV a powerless man? Probably not. Women were simply not his type at all, and it was easier for the king to accept that he had something wrong with his health than to be fatally accused of such a sin. If that were to happen, his own life would then be at stake. This assumption is not unfounded. Many contemporaries of the troubled king often noted how handsome men rose very, very quickly in his court and occupied important government positions.